Once upon a time, in a land full of charm, there lived a great man, and this man owned a farm. We'll call him Farmer. He did no one any harm, built the entire farm with the strength of his arm. One day something happened that was cause for alarm. It started with the conversation held inside the barn between a horse, a hog, a chicken, and a frog late at night, away from the thickness of the fog. It wasn't the first meeting, they met many times before, inclined to pour into each other behind the door, which was a portal for moral lessons, important questions. The normal expression of this would be formal addresses, where each was unleashed to give a speech, to teach or even preach, in order to impeach or beseech. The first to speak on this particular evening was the hog. He began by acknowledging the horse, chicken, and frog.
To my distinguished guests, thanks for lending me your ears. To me it's clear you've been dear peers for many years. I've been wanting to speak for a minute, but I have been limited by my fears. Here's the gist: everything is not as it appears. My dear Mr. Horse, Miss Chicken, Mr. Frog, I know that when you look at me, what you see is a hog. But since I can remember, I've never felt like a hog. In the deepest part of me, I've always known I was a dog. For instance, when I'm happy, I love wagging my tail, and I never like the slop Farmer smashed into my pail. I prefer dog biscuits, I sneak them after dark. While my friends prefer to oink, I just have to bark. Long story short, I have a few things to announce. As much as I love the barn, my proper dwelling is the house. In order for me to get there, I have to make some changes. The very first thing is adjusting what my weight is. I'll stop eating slop, and as an overachiever, I'll shrink down to the size of a golden retriever. I know I can be the best friend that's lacking for the daughter. Instead of just settling, being fattened for the slaughter, I'll have a chat with Farmer. Surely he will make time. By the way, I'm from here on out to be called K9. This concludes my speech then, no place for being subtle. I welcome all agreement, but please save your rebuttals.
Having made a passionate plea for his cause, the hog stepped down to near unanimous applause. After this, the chicken made her way to the podium. She said,
I'm honored to participate in this symposium. I know I am not alone when I say I'm moved with delight. What a great time for K9 to speak his truth tonight. I support him wholeheartedly from the deepest soul's part of me, and I will go hard indeed to help old farmers see that K9 should absolutely have the house as his home. That being said, I have an announcement of my own. It's slightly different, but it's still kinda like my friend. At the time that I hatched, I was assigned to be a hen. And hens are always female, cause we provide the eggs. Don't sleep on this detail, we're treated like the dregs. Through troughs we are fed, we're accosted and bred. They take all of our eggs, and it's off with our heads. A pitiful existence, it is so consistent. With farmers' literal malignance, this is my resistance. You were in my corner when I was born a hen. Now I declare myself a male chicken, cause I've been born again. I'll have a chat with Farmer, surely he will make time and see my great mind when I confront him along with K9. The righteous resistors will surely be the victors, and I'm no longer your sister, friends, you can call me Mr.
Having made a passionate plea for her cause, the chicken stepped down to near unanimous applause. After this, it was the horse who approached the stage. He said,
I've seen a lot of things in my older age. I'll keep my comments very brief so I don't have to bore you. Bottom line, K9, Mr. Chicken, I'm happy for you. Our lives are so very short on this farm today. Whatever makes you happy, I support you all the way. Plus, who does Farmer think he is trying to place limitations on you when you have the power of self-determination? It's you and you alone who will define your purpose. If he wants thoughtless animals, he can find a circus. I use the rest of my time just to say that I'm appalled at Mr. Frog, the only one who did not applaud. If you do not affirm these animals, then shame on you. Make plain your view, cause you got some explaining to do.
With the horse having called out the frog's nonchalance, all eyes were on the frog waiting for a prompt response from his soon-to-be former friends. He felt mad scorn. Once his words had formed, he stepped up to the platform. He said,
Hey, listen guys, I'm not here to cause any trouble. Besides, Mr. Hog, K9 said no rebuttals. I didn't seem enthused, you perceived me to be aloof. But what kind of friend would I be if I didn't speak to you the truth? Honestly, I have a different view, I must confess. But my disagreement doesn't mean I love you any less. It seems to me that you're confused concerning what is real, and that reality for you is determined by what you feel. That logic is mistaken though, let's just take it slow. Just because you feel that something's true, it doesn't make it so. Like Mr. K9, let's say you feel you can fly. If you jumped off a cliff in your zeal, you would die. Mr. Chicken, you might feel you belong down in the ocean, but if you dove in, you would drown in your devotion. No matter how much you try to quack, you'll never be a duck. He oinks, he neighs, I ribbit, you cluck. As far as going to the house, I love you enough to warn ya. Unless you want some karma, do not confront the farmer. Cause whatever you endeavor to propose by imitation, farmer has the power to expose your limitations.
When the frog was finished speaking, the horse was so enraged that he lifted up his hind hooves and kicked him off the stage. He flew so far away that they never saw him again. The group was all ashamed that they ever called him a friend. His vivid intolerance on exhibit made them livid. They never thought that with his ribbit he could be a bigot. With the frog out of the way, time for the plot to commence. Catastrophic events forthcoming with lots of suspense. They'll hop the fence with the mob of friends. If he's not convinced, they'll knock some sense into the farmer and stop his defense. If farmer met their demands, they wouldn't have to pounce. Just set Mr. Chicken free, let K9 in the house. They waited a couple of months for K9 to drop the weight. Found many other animals willing to cooperate. At the appointed time, all were gathered in the barn, with K9 as the leader of the animal farm. He gave a rousing speech, and when it was dark and late, he led them through the gate up to the farmer's estate. When they got to the door, the horse gave a knock. The door flung wide open and K9 was in shock. It was the farmer's child, his son meek and mild. Their rage against the farmer made the animals go wild. Without hesitation, exerted all their power, attacked the poor child and he was murdered and devoured.
Oh man, Shai, you can't end it like that, man.
Why not?
That's crazy. That's a horrible ending.
What, you want, a Hollywood ending?
Come on, you gotta do something else, man.
Are you serious?
Can you end it another way, please?
Alright, check this out. At the appointed time, all were gathered in the barn, with K9 as the leader of the animal farm. He gave a rousing speech, and when it was dark and late, he led them through the gate up to the farmer's estate. When they got to the door, the horse gave a knock. The door flung wide open and K9 was in shock. The farmer had his gun, animals start to run. K9 and Mr. Chicken shot down one by one. The very next morning, after the man awakened, the farmer had chicken, waffles, eggs, ham, and bacon. You happy?
I mean, I guess that's a little better. It's still kind of dark, man.
Yeah, it is.
I don't understand. Like, how does this all tie together?
Well, actually, they're both kind of true. Let me explain how.